Hi, it's been a while. I'm with my younger cousin, and he told me to make another book video. So that's what I'm doing. I figured today I would go over some of my favorite books that I read in fall. The first book that I read this fall that I really loved is actually a nonfiction book. I don't read a lot of nonfiction books, so I'm really shocked that I actually picked this one up and finished it. It's Heavier Than Heaven. It's a nonfiction book about Kurt Cobain. I love Nirvana, I love Kurt Cobain, but even so, I'm not that big into nonfiction, so I wasn't really expecting to be completely into it, but I absolutely love this book. It kept me interested the entire time, even though sometimes nonfiction books I feel like can get really tedious and sometimes even boring, but this book was not boring at all. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and again, it's Heavier Than Heaven by Charles R. Cross, if you want to buy it. I absolutely loved it. The next book that I loved that I read this fall was Sad Girls by Lang Lee. I believe that she's a poet, and one of my favorite genres of books is books written by poets. This book is about young writer girl who dies in a friend group. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. This is Hugh. He's the one that told me to make another book video, so this video is brought to you by Hugh.
Hi.
Y'all have Hugh to thank for my rant. This book I read this fall that I really loved was The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I hope I said his last name right. I probably didn't. If you're on Book Talk or follow a lot of book accounts on Instagram, you've probably heard people talking about this one a lot. It makes you stop and look at your perspective on how you're living and the decisions you make and how that affects your future. It's about a woman who is in between life and death, and she's taken to this other realm where it's like a library of all these different alternate realities that could have happened to her based off of little decisions in her life. And she has the ability to live through as many as she of possibilities of what her life could have been based off of her own decisions. It makes you stop and think about how you're living your life and how you have the ability to change it. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it.
Saying how many stars you've done.
Because it's giving them how much I liked it. If I'm telling them a quantifiable amount of how much I liked it. Another book I just finished reading that I loved was Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I loved Normal People. Normal People is one of my favorite books ever, so I was really excited to get to read Conversations with Friends. Did not like it as much as I like Normal People. Sometimes I felt like the book was a little bit slower, but it still was overall an amazing book because, of course, Sally Rooney wrote it, so it was overall really good. Also about a young writer. That's obviously a theme throughout the books I read. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I'm excited to read her new book that came out. I forget what it's called, but that's on my Christmas list. I'm really excited to read that in 2022. So that's my video on the books I've read in fall that I really liked. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all later.